All right, welcome to a bonus episode of TNT Unpacked. We are your hosts, Rochelle Amor and Justin Collymore.
Hey. Today we are speaking to Marcus Waldron.
Hi.
Yeah, hi.
What's up?
I love how comfortable you are with this.
You are super comfortable, and we like it. We like it.
I just sit within myself now, boy, and say woosa.
There you go. No, that's what it's all about. So we're talking to him today because Marcus is trying to raise some funds for a very prestigious program at Yale University in the US. And he recently had a couple of fundraising events. But, he's not quite there yet. So we're going to talk to him a little bit to find out some more about this program, about what he does, about what he can do, and to find out how we can support one of our very own. So talk to us. What's up?
I applied to do my MFA,
Say
Master in Fine Arts
There you go.
in Directing
Right.
at Yale, and I didn't get through to do my MFA. And in all honesty, I didn't really think they would reply to me for some reason.
Right.
I wrote up the letters and I sent it in, and I opened my inbox actually at a friend's mom's funeral. And I was it was a weird day.
bad timing.
It was a weird but it's this thing, right? So like everybody's all weepy and stuff,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, oh my god, like this wasn't just
I just wanted to
yeah. Oh man. And so everybody watching me like, what's going on with this,
Yo,
this guy.
he's a little too excited about what's going on.
What's
right now.
going on?
He's a little too happy for this funeral right now.
Oh man, but I got in and they offered to bring me up to do my final exam, which is an audition,
Right.
where they have like 3 judges on a panel, and you come in to this room. So it's this room in the States. So you fly up there. So you're feeling all nice because you're finally going to the States for the first time. You're flying over New York in the night, and then you take ground transportation. This kind of nice vibe, and so you reach there. The next day, they put you up in a really nice place. The next day, you go to the audition, and you walk into this room. And in this room, there are like these 3 judges, like you're on The Voice or, one of those American reality shows. And you meet Yura. Yura is like the foremost authority in Chekhov in the world, right? So he's like the most, Russian man you could meet. It's
Anton
like,
Chekhov?
yes, and yeah, you know him.
There you go. There you go.
Okay,
Okay.
fine. One thing that you know that I don't.
I have 1 point and you have 0.
I have like 100.
So Anton Chekhov is like this just really good playwright. Let's leave it at that.
Okay, gotcha.
Right, before we
gotcha.
get into any deeper.
Right.
But like he's like the foremost authority in Chekhov in the world. And like he is like the most Russian man I've ever met. I mean, because he's the first Russian man I've ever met, right?
Right,
So,
right.
like, so he's like all the Russian stereotypes all in one, right? And so he's this big burly guy, a big booming voice, and then you have Miss Liz Diamond. She's like the sweet grandmother kind of type. But, you also know that she's like really dread to her, right? So, I've done my research on her. So, also very, intimidated by her.
She's like
and
a
that kind of-
fake granny, but she's a badass.
Oh man, like really, really dread.
Yeah. Don't let that sweet little old face fool
yeah,
you.
like all she missing was a cutlass. Yeah, the dread plan last now, boy. It'll be serious.
If you're not Trinidadian, you might not
Oh,
understand that, but it's funny.
Oh,
Kind of sounds like my grandmother, actually.
yeah.
Does she really?
Oh man, she's everybody's grandmother. Right?
Everybody's Trinidadian grandmother is this lady.
Yeah. And then like you have the dean, and so like the dean is like this very quiet, cool guy, Mr. Bundy. And so you go into the room, they give you 2 actors, and you've like been working on a scene for some time. The scene I chose was Antigone. That's the 3rd play in Sophocles' 3 trilogy of plays. The one I did was a rewrite by Seamus Heaney, who's also like a famous writer. And so I did my piece, and they called me back to have a discussion after about my ideas and all those things, and in digging deeper with my whole process and stuff. They thanked me for my energies and what I did in the audition, and I left feeling like, oh man, Marcus, like you really blew it, right? Because they pointed out some things to me that was obvious. Sometimes we get caught up in the deeper meaning of things and miss the very obvious points in front of your face. For me, like I had the detail, but the obvious thing was a very simple fact that Mr. Bunny pointed out to me, right? Okay, let's go back to the Antigone story.
Okay.
Antigone essentially, defies her uncle, who has to rule this space after her 2 brothers, who are supposed to rule in turn, so one will rule 1 year and one will rule the opposite year, kill each other over the throne. Right? So
typical man behavior.
oh, come on. That's a whole other conversation for a whole other day. But what happens is, as a result of the killing, Creon, who is her uncle, decrees that, Eteocles, which is the brother who was king, will be buried with honors. And Polynices, which is, the other brother, will not be buried. And anybody found burying the brother will be, stoned to death, or in which case, walled up in that kind of way. And she decides to defy, his word and bury Polynices. Which case, when that happens, she's in contravention of the law, and him having to be in that stabilizing force can't go back on his word.
Right.
He had a whole speech about people who go back on their word, and I will never go back on my word, and all this drama. So after all that grand charging, he can't backpedal. Yeah.
Right.
So with that given scenario now, he has to do what he has to do. In which case, Prophet then lets him know, Tiresias lets him know he shouldn't do that, and if he does that, terrors will befall him. He then tells Tiresias that, anybody could buy a prophecy. Ooh. Despite being the fact that he has been right before, just before, literally just before, Tiresias was shelling out prophecies that were all just coming true. And he doesn't listen. He decides to wall her up or stone her down, which depends on which version you're reading. And when that happens, his son, who was supposed to be married to her, he decides to kill himself. And then his mother, who, after hearing about the son's death, kills herself.
Oh my God! What is going on in this goddamn place?
So Creon now is left with he's broken as a man with his family, and with this place that is also broken, and all this drama. And the very simple thing that I refuse to acknowledge or not pay as much attention to was the simple fact that Creon and his niece, is that relationship, that family relationship. And so in the conversation, it's as if you're talking to your niece or your nephew, and you're trying to talk in public about something you're doing wrong while still trying to enforce, that family connection. And what makes it seem that much more interesting. It's not just king talking to a subject.
Right.
So, it have those layers of tension. That's what makes it really, really nice, really, really sweet. And so if you miss that very simple fact.
It's a subtle thing.
Yeah. But it's there. It's not hidden. It's very,
in
very
your
there.
face, but at the same time, if you're focused on him grand charging.
And you focus on all those other nuances in the scene, you miss those very...
I mean, I just got a headache
hearing
that story.
Her favorite show is Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Oh,
First of all, it is not Real Housewives of Atlanta, okay?
What is it?
It is Love and Hip Hop Atlanta.
So what is Real Housewives of what then?
I don't like any Real Housewives.
It's
of
very
anything.
sad that you know that fact. I don't know, man.
Okay, but I'm just saying, it gave me a headache because as lay people, we don't realize how much thought and energy goes into directing just one short scene.
Oh, man.
So I can imagine the kind of pressure that was on you in that task.
How long did it take you to prepare your piece? Is it called a piece? What is it called?
Oh, well, it's a scene. So you work on a scene. I mean, don't ever call it skit. That's a really busy word, right?
So skit is like a curse word in the world of directing.
Yeah, you work on a scene.
Okay.
Right? It took me weeks before to really sit down and go it over. But this is me going it over and doubting what I know.
Yeah.
Right? And trying very much to find ways of converting my experiences here in the Caribbean in language that is speakable in a sort of international space.
Right.
So imagine you're talking to somebody about sailor. How do you describe sailor? A sailor mass.
Yeah.
Right? To somebody who has never seen a sailor mass or even know what you're talking about.
Even the phrases that we just said, like grand charging and planas, and those things that we understand.
That we take for granted.
That we take for granted, I guess. Coming out of your space of directing locally and then not only having to go to one of the best universities in the world in a country that you've never been to before in front of people who are leading authorities in your field, I imagine how much pressure that must have been. So for you to prepare for that, it's almost impossible to prepare on all those different levels for something like that.
But I mean, I feel as though again, it's missing the simplicity in it. When you're doing plays in general, all plays, they want something human. It's not something airy-fairy and,
Right.
lofty in that kind of way. It's very, very simple emotions and connections. And so if you're working from that point of that honesty, right? The scene always sort of finds a way of working itself out as opposed to you working it out. And so when you add on all the other cultural things, that's like a bonus.
Right.
But if you continue to search for the truth of the scene, it works out as it's supposed to. And I think that's a lesson that I know now.
Right.
Oh man, like I wish I had known that a little bit before. But,
That's
you know.
okay. So we completely veered off, but we were talking about you having applied for this program. So tell us what came out of that and where you're at now.
Okay, so actually, coming out of the program, I wasn't able to get a space for the MFA because I believe it's 9 persons that they select globally, and then out of that 9 persons, they select 3.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So
and
you
so-
made the 9
Yeah, I made
people
the
cut.
9.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
3 I didn't make the cut, but I work on that next time.
Yeah, of course.
And but they did offer me a special research fellowship, which is an opportunity to come and audit courses for a semester. And so you get to see the the inner workings of some of their classes and sit in on all the lectures and meet other directors, in the field and get a real perspective of what theater is globally in that kind of way. And so it's something I'm really, really thankful for. I'm trying to find a way to access it.
So how many people were you competing against to get to that? Thousands, hundreds?
Okay, I don't know if it's thousands. Well,
Right.
possibly because it's all over the world.
Yeah, right.
And it's like one of the leading theater programs in the world, right? And so I guess it's probably thousands.
I mean, that's an accomplishment in itself.
Yeah, but I'm not really a half cup full kind of guy,
Right.
I see the cup out to being what it is.
Right.
Cup with water, whatever it is.
I read something the other day. The people who think of the cup half full or half empty are missing the point. You can always pour more stuff into the damn cup. It's a cup. It's what it's for. It's a vessel for holding shit. Like,
I get you.
chill,
Oh, man,
I think there was there's a Greek philosopher who said that same thing.
It's a vessel for holding shit.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a lot of people, and the interesting thing though is that when I was driving across, so they had made arrangements for me to get ground transportation, except I didn't know that there's an actual company called ground transportation. And so they paid for it, and then I didn't take it, so I kind of milled around the airport to find a new ride. I ended up bumming a ride with a guy who is also in the same audition I'm going to do.
Right.
And so he was telling me that he was here like 2 years ago and he didn't get in. And he was giving me sort of the rundown of what's going on, that kind of
You
vibe.
see how things work out for the best, yeah.
Oh man, and it was tense, but he's a really cool dude, really personable. I just thankful I get to bounce up somebody else who's interested in something I'm interested in.
You want to shout him out? Do you remember his name?
Not quite. Oh man.
Shout out
But
to the stranger who gave him a ride
Whoever
that
he was.
Yeah,
time.
but I mean, even he rode in the same car I was in, but he was telling me that he is studying Trinidad too as well.
Really?
Yeah, he studied under one of my mentors, which is Tony Hall, right? So Tony Hall is one of my mentors.
And
Marvin
where was
George.
this guy from?
Somewhere in the States.
Okay.
It could be Midwest or something. I'm not really sure.
Right.
So he studied in Trinidad, and he went somewhere in Japan and all the Philippines or somewhere. And I'm like, yeah, no, man. Trying to play it off like I have this wealth of experience, right? Yeah. Like, that doesn't scare me a bit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
In which case, this is me only talking the Caribbean talk, right? This is, a UB boy, right? Who just 5 minutes ago didn't think he'd be here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was definitely an eye-opening experience, and something I wouldn't trade for anything in the world.
So next year, is it that you get to try again to see if you get in?
The fellowship, as I understand it, is not like a free pass into the MFA. It's not. That's not how it works. It's it's always merit-based, so you have to earn your place.
Right.
Well, this year I reapply for next year, and hopefully I get it.
I think for anybody coming from the Caribbean, from UWI to somewhere like Yale, it's a huge
Okay, so-
jump.
Did you kind of just apply and you're like, this is probably not going to work, but let me see?
Oh man, you have no idea. You have no real idea how close you are, right?
I think I might apply to Yale, actually.
what
Jesus Christ. you see what you started?
Yeah,
This
that's good.
inspired me, Rush.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, hear the real story, right? Early on that year, It was at I was working out a show. The show I'm working on now for Best Village called Your Handsome Captain.
Right.
It's a play written by Simone Schwartzbach. She's a Guadeloupean writer.
She's a writer from the Guadeloupe.
From
the
Guadeloupe. From Guadeloupe.
She's a writer from Guadeloupe.
Right.
Thank you, George
And,
Bush.
yeah.
The Iraq.
Oh man, yeah. She's a writer, and she wrote this wonderful play that I was directing inside of Kalu Company, which is Minchel's headquarters,
Right,
right?
yes.
So I'm directing the show. It's the first night, and how I direct plays is that music is very integral to the building of the theater, and the different moments and how it works itself out. And the drummer who was supposed to come and has been promising to come never came.
Those pesky drummers.
Oh man, I'm
Not
I'm
just
not
a musician.
I'm not gonna call his name.
No,
but,
that's
you know,
fine. That's fine. We understand, yeah.
So this is me on opening night with Minchell sitting down on like a box.
And you have no
That's
drum.
Peter Menchel.
Yeah.
That's world-renowned Peter Menchel for
World-renowned
those
Peter Minchell.
who didn't catch that.
You know, and sitting down in his space watching my play, and I in the back beating stuff. I know I can't play an instrument, right? Like I can't play that to save my life.
So you
But-
played the drums for the
Yeah,
show?
and sing and then run back and call cue and it's
Did Mitchell come backstage afterwards and say that was the best drumming?
oh man, no, I won no awards that night. But he was honest and he said that it's something that he did enjoy and something that he didn't, and I appreciate that. But for me, I felt like my play had fallen apart. Up until that point, that had been my biggest fear.
Right.
A play I do would be that shitty, right? And I mean, it was good in that it allowed me to flesh out a lot of my ideas.
Right.
And so I began working on the product from that point.
Yeah.
But it was bad because I knew I was capable of doing a lot better, and
Right.
that's not my standard.
Yeah.
And so after having the play fall apart on me, I went home and I slept, and then I woke up the next day and I was like, well, Marcus, the worst just happened to you. What again, could happen?
Yep.
And
yep.
then I was like, okay, cool. I'm just going to apply to Yale.
Right.
Because, I mean, yeah, I was like,
Don't get it, that's fine. My play just fell apart.
Yeah.
yeah, well,
You were unstoppable at this point.
At this point, I had not a fear or wasn't afraid of anything else after that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's liberating.
Yeah,
Wow.
it is. And I mean, although I won't ask other directors to have their plays fail on them in that kind of way, like, that's not what I'm saying.
I wouldn't recommend this course of action.
Yeah, but I just felt like it's something that I had to get out the way and just do.
So you had been thinking about applying to Yale from before?
Oh man. Okay, so I did Oedipus Rex for my directing 2 play thesis, right? Coming out of that production, I had lecturers who told me that I should apply to Yale.
Okay.
And for me, Yale is not on my mind. On top until that point, I hadn't heard that university and my name in the same sentence.
Right.
Right. So for Danny Lindesay, who is one of my lecturers and one of my biggest mentors in terms of drama and everything, right? That's his life. She's an awesome woman. She telling me that I could go to Yale is a really big deal. Like, she doesn't even know how much that make my life. And from then on, I've been like, maybe.
Yeah.
And so it had to be me working on this dream every day. This is not all right, you could go here and then you just go home and put it down. This is you could go here and you work every day to get there. So, and see how it goes.
So when you set your goal to get to Yale, we talk about working together. What does the work like? What does that involve?
Working in directing to get to Yale.
Yeah.
I think for me it was about learning and relearning the basics.
Right.
I can't stress enough how much of a companion it is, to have lecturers who have that kind of interest. They help you. They constantly remind you of the things you should be focusing on.
Yeah.
And so Marvin George and Camille Kwamana, oh man, they have been like family. Continue to coach me on and look at the work and give critical feedback and be very honest with you.
Yeah.
They call a spade, right? And then when you have people like Tony Hall, who a lot of people, I feel, this is my opinion, my personal opinion, they don't understand Mr. Hall. Like, they write him off as being this crazy kind of guy.
Yeah.
But this man is talking hard facts. And the deeper you dig, is the truer it is.
That's interesting that you would say that, because we started off this conversation talking about the truth in plays.
Yeah.
And how if you find that, it makes it sell.
Exactly, and you see, Hall again. He's no bullshit, no holds barred, no nothing. He lets you know exactly what it is, and I feel like a lot of people tend to want to butter you up to not hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
But ultimately, when you put yourself out there in the world, they don't care, you know.
Yeah.
They rip you to shreds.
Right.
And so if you don't have people really in your corner giving you the hard feedback and really letting you know what time it is you're in problems. And so for me, the key thing that they have been reinforcing with me really has been spine.
Right.
Spinal action. And from spinal action, you work out the rest of the play. Once you grip onto that spinal action, the rest of the play works itself out.
So it sounds like you were really well prepared when you walked into that room at Yale, but even though you did not get into the MFA program, the fact that they offered you this research fellowship proves that, you are much closer than you thought you were.
Again, I'm watching that couple.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I'm not saying you're there. I'm just saying you're close.
yeah. I agree. I mean, the mere fact that they were able to put money where their mouth is in terms
Right.
of giving me the scholarship opportunity.
Let's talk a little bit about that. What is your work in terms of funding goals, and what have you gotten already from Yale?
Okay, so Yale University has offered $14,000 in terms of paying tuition.
Right. So your tuition's covered.
Tuition is covered.
Okay.
I need room, board, and insurance.
Right.
And that's how much you asked.
TT is $71,226 in US
How
dollars.
much
That's
cents?
11.
I feel like you're missing out these cents.
Well,
That was
I-
very specific.
Well, I mean, I've only been watching that number every day for quite some time now, but yeah.
So it's no sense. It's 0-0.
Well, it depends on how the day fluctuates in terms
Oh,
of US
okay.
dollar.
Right.
So you check the conversion rates every day.
Yeah. I on the ball. Oh man. But in terms of US dollars, that's about 11,000 US dollars. I can't ever recall owning 11,000 US of anything.
Right.
So
I can't recall owning 11 US.
Yeah.
That's not currently in my bank account. So
Struggle is very real.
I actually think they shut down my bank account because it's been so inactive for so long.
Oh my, going cobwebs.
Yeah, and they literally shut it down.
So that's the money I need to raise, and I've been trying to have fundraising events.
Talk us through. Let's hear a little bit
I had a
about
party last week. Is this a week already?
that. Yeah, I guess.
It's
Well, it's
Friday,
last
Saturday.
weekend.
Why am
Last
I
weekend,
was answering
Saturday.
as if I was there. I was like, yeah, it's been a week.
Good things, is that people did turn out. Not enough people, but I am constantly giving thanks for whatever I've received, and working towards what's the next thing. I can't ever sit down and wallow on
Right.
where's me.
Every little bit counts, right?
Exactly.
So at
That's
this
the name of the
point,
party. But the name of the party was Echo. Each one can help one.
Right.
And so the concept in terms of giving and helping each other is there in the concept of the event.
Right.
So, is there a deadline that you need to have this secured by?
Yeah. It's by July the 1st.
Okay.
Because I need to go through all the immigration stuff and the embassy stuff and send proof of me being able to come, to go through with the course and that kind of details. Aside from just that, I'm also keeping busy with the Best Village.
Right.
And seeing how Best Mount Door can do for Best Village finals. Go Mount Door. Aside from just music, Mount Door has a particular way in which it builds plays as opposed to other production houses in Best Village. Not to share too much of Mount Door secrets in that kind of way, right? But music is an integral part. So is all other Best Village productions. Let me put that out there. But they have a way in which we do what we do, and there's a way in which we look at production that is different from other individuals in the space.
When is Best Village happening?
Because Best Village just says the 21st and to 26th of August, I believe.
Is there any prize money in this Best Village competition that can help you go
Is
towards
it
your
exactly
fund?
11,000 US?
That would be amazing.
It might be just about it. I think it might be about 50,000 TT.
No?
So
I'm
what are
not
you
really
doing
sure.
here? You're supposed to be working on this play.
Yeah, I have been. Best Village and Monk Door has been an experience. Monk Door is in a good place.
Right.
It's in good hands, and we have been working on the show. I want to take the moment to big up Amanda McIntyre and Robert Noel for the very good job they did on the semi-final round, and all the dancers, Letitia, Crystal, everyone for coming out. Valton Matthews, he has been an organizer in Sokamana for quite some time, working with Monroe and all these guys, and a lot of musicians. Like, Falton Matches really knows his music. And so, he lends a particular kind of flavor when it comes to Monk Door that I really, really appreciate.
I was talking to somebody the other day about how, in the US, for example, the arts have lines between them. And I think someone said this, like Jeffrey Bosco Holder said
Very
this
nice.
once. There are lines between their arts. So dance is dance. And because it's a huge place, right? So there's a whole industry for dance, there's a whole industry for different kinds of music, there's a whole industry for theater. But in Trinidad, which is such a small place, and because our culture is so diverse, there are no lines between the arts, right? Carnival is visual art, it's dance, it's music, it's performance,
It's spoken word, it's everything.
spoken word, it's everything.
Yeah.
So as a director, I think that must give you a certain level of strength coming from this kind of culture.
Yeah, especially given that you're coming out of DCFA, Department of Creative and Festival Arts. They really put the energy into focusing you in terms of knowing your culture.
Right.
And Carnival is a big, big part of that. There isn't any one of those art forms that is not present in Carnival.
Right.
You have the dance, you have the music, you have the speech, you have the way in which you hold your body, you have all sorts of things, And so if you understand those things, which is what the department is telling you, if you understand the elements of those things and the way in which you can mash up the elements, essentially, you could apply to anything. My mentor, Marvin George, I just want to say that I think he's one of the baddest, right? The most dread, right?
Can you tell us how far off you are from reaching the goal? Is that something we could talk about?
Yeah, I am $60-something thousand off from reaching my goal.
Right.
Okay.
But I do have persons who are interested in it, sort of helping me getting there.
Right.
And I'm still collecting door receipts
Right.
from the
Yes.
actual event. Some people who weren't able maybe to make it on the actual night,
Right.
or mightn't have fallen right time of the month for them, and have still pledged. So I'm waiting maybe to the close to the end of the month to see what that looks like.
We always joke about this, right? You can throw a stone anywhere in the world and it will hit a Trini.
Yeah.
So even if, have you thought about getting in-kind contributions? So even if you might not be able to stay on campus at Yale, maybe there's a Trinidadian who will be willing to put you up nearby campus. Those are also options.
Yeah, I've got a couple of hits from persons from
Great.
in the space.
Right.
I'm not really sure about just meeting someone, Hey,
can I come stay by you?
Yeah, like it's really weird now, but I watch all these kidnapping shows. And
Oh,
things,
please.
right? Yeah,
Oh,
and
please. This is
I
Trini.
think, I think a Trinidadian pelt is worth a lot somewhere, right? Yeah. So before somebody will wear my skin as a hat, I want to make sure that that everything is kosher. But
Right.
there are people out there who have offered their spaces.
Right. So you have a
And
backup plan.
Yeah, I have contingencies just
Right.
in case things don't go the way I want it to go.
Right.
But I need to decide really soon in terms of what I'm doing so that
Yeah.
I know. what
And
I'm
a big part of that, of course, is how your funding goes.
doing. Exactly.
So we know the goal.
Okay.
We know the time. So how can people listening, how can anyone contribute to this goal?
Okay, so I'm currently working on my GoFundMe page, but
Right.
that also requires a US account.
Cannot catch a break in this part-time country.
Real dread. But I'm also working on putting my account out there. I've been, just getting the word out there and seeing who's interested in supporting the dream.
Great.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Amazing.
One quick question. So, we know that next year you're gonna try again. What's the game plan?
Oh man, I think the game plan is just to get better.
Right.
I think there isn't anything you can realistically do that you can prepare you to know all at what's going to happen in that room.
Yeah.
What Ms. Diamond was commenting me on is that I have been really honest in that, I would sit as I would normally sit
Yeah.
in a rehearsal room, which is on the floor somewhere. And I would watch my actors the way I would normally watch them, as opposed to people who come into this space and because they know it's a prestigious university, work out this whole charade of how they hold their hands and their gestures and their bodies now, but they're dancing in this space, right?
Pretentious about it, yeah.
And they see through that with such ease.
Yeah.
Oh man, they cut through the bullshit real quick. Oh man. And I really feel some of those lecturers have no chill. So they will let you know. They will let you know what time it is. Easy.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think it's to remain calm and get to a point where I can sit within myself like I'm doing this interview
Yeah.
and just direct with ease and breathe.
If you want to contribute to Marcus's journey to Yale, you can make a deposit at any RBC branch. The account number is 1000 901 714-753-05. Why a bank account number so long? I don't know. And the name of the account is, of course, Marcus Waldron, Waldron. You can also check out this information on our Facebook page. Also, please let the tellers know that you're depositing to Marcus Waldron of Trinidad, not the one in Tobago. Apparently, there's some kind of identity thief in Tobago. Making his banking a little bit difficult. If you make a contribution of in excess of 300 TT and you would like to collect your free ticket to a Best Village performance put on by the man himself, you can get that receipt scanned and sent to him or to us at Unpacked Media, and we will get you that ticket.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so
Come out and support Best
incentive. Come
Village.
out and support for a good cause.
And it's going to be a good show.
Right.
You know.
I believe you.
Yeah, man, not coming out for this year.
Are we gonna get 2 tickets though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry, I mean, higher cover now, boy, you know. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. You know,
man, no
you've walked us
problem.
through so much today, and I hope that everyone listening to this goes and contributes right now.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot.